In 1995, a curious story arose out of LeSueur County, Minnesota. Local students found a number of deformed frogs in a marsh near the Minnesota River. Within a year, similar reports began to surface around the country. It caught the attention of scientists, including Judy Helgen of the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. Filmmaker Matthew Bluhm's new documentary, Mystery in the Wetlands, retraces the efforts of Helgen and her team to control the phenomenon and the political challenges that they faced. Bluhm joined KQAL's Bill Stoneberg over the phone to discuss the film and the unique aspects of this story. I'm Willard Hike, and this is Artbeat on KQAL.
From painting to photography, from beadwork to woodworking, KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University presents Artbeat. Artbeat highlights the work and accomplishments of local artists from in and around Winona. Support for Artbeat is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
We are speaking today with Matthew Bluhm. He's a filmmaker. He's created the film Mystery in the Wetlands, which showed at Frozen River Film Festival this year. And hello, Matthew. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you very much.
Sure. And so Mystery in the Wetlands, you know, and it's kind of about in the 90s where there were some deformed frogs discovered in Minnesota. It was talked about in the media a lot. I remember this, and people were concerned that something was causing it in the water. It might be unhealthy for people to drink. Is there anything else you can tell us about that? You know, what got you into it? What got you into the situation and making a film about it?
Well, back when I went to school for video production, that's around the time that this happened, and I had a documentary film production class, and I thought that would make a great topic for me to do a documentary about. Never happened, though. And recently, actually a few years ago, I heard a story on NPR, a follow-up story about that, and that sort of got the wheels going for me, anyway.
Okay, nice. So you had known about it and were interested in it. Did you know about Judy Helgen and her work with the situation as well?
Not until I heard that NPR report.
Oh, okay. So was it the NPR report itself that caused you to kind of start making the film about it then?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I had remembered that it had been in the back of my head for something to do since college, but yeah, that was the impetus, I guess. Nice.
Well, how long have you been making short films or working in film?
Well, actually, I'm a senior producer at KSMQ, the PBS affiliate in Austin, Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And I produce a show called Off 90, which is art, culture, and history program, and sort of a magazine program. Mm-hmm. And I thought that Judy Helgen's story would be a great addition for the show. Nice. So I put it on the show, and then I thought, well, let's see what else I can do with it.
Nice. So you've been were you actively following this story like throughout the years and kind of had that in the back of your mind that you'd someday work with it, or is it something that just came back when you heard that on the radio?
It pretty much just came back.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So it wasn't like you were sitting pondering all the time, you know. Whatever happened to those frogs?
Right. Well, actually that had occurred to me, but you know, I didn't take the time to look into it until then, and I was like, oh, now's the time. So
right. So, you know, I've seen the film. If people out there haven't, you know, like I said, it showed at Frozen River Film Festival. Is there another way people can watch the film if they missed it at the festival?
Actually, yeah, there is. It's on. You could go to our website, ksmq.org. There's a link for all the episodes of Off 90 that I've done, and you could either search for Judy Helgen or search for episode 1009.
Ooh, even the episode number. Yeah. Perfect. Well, that should be pretty easy.
The 9th episode of the 10th season. So.
Oh, okay, nice. So you've been doing this for quite some time then, huh? 10 seasons?
Yep, 10 years.
Wow, excellent. So, you know, when I was viewing the film, I'm like, Okay. I remember this. I totally remember it. And then it kind of leaves it open in the end. Did they ever really figure out exactly what it was causing the deformities in the frogs, or?
No, they did not.
Oh, wow.
That's actually, I talked to other documentary filmmakers when I was thinking about doing this story, and I told them that there isn't a satisfactory ending, you know.
Right.
And they said, well, you shouldn't do that because there's no real ending. But sometimes that's the way life works out. And plus, I think that's important, that raises attention to the fact that we don't know. Nobody knows for sure.
Right. You know, I think that's important that, you know, sometimes that is how the story, quote, ends, so to speak, you know, for lack of a better term, you know, that it hasn't ended. It's ongoing, you know.
Right.
Do you think that they did enough or are doing enough to figure out what the cause is? I know they filtered some of the wells in the area through a charcoal filter, and that seemed to help with the frogs, so they're assuming it would help with any danger to humans. Do you think they've done enough?
That's a good question. According to the MPCA website, the water, the testing, the normal testing that they would do on water, they didn't find things that would be harmful to people. But you know, if they don't know exactly what they're looking for, then how can you be sure? You know.
Right.
So. Yeah. I think more should be done, but it's, you know, it takes money and budgets and things like that to do more testing.
Right. And I think I mentioned her name a little bit before, but Judy Helgen, who studied this issue and wrote a book on it. Was there any insight from her when you were making this film? Did she have any clues as to what might be causing it or anything like that, or?
Well, she felt she was strongly inclined to thinking that it might have to do with chemicals or pesticides. I mean, there were other possibilities, like parasites, UV rays, all those things affect frogs, but they're natural and naturally occurring, and this was like an abundance of deformed frogs showed up all at once. You know, it wasn't. Right. And they had done testing in a lab where there were no parasites and there were no UV rays, and the deformities from these affected ponds still produced deformed frogs. So that, you know, strongly suggests that it's not necessarily natural.
Natural, right. There's something in the water, right?
Yep,
so to speak.
Yep, exactly. And the fact that they could use charcoal filters to filter the water and no deformities then came from the filtered water. I mean, it seems like there's a pretty strong, you know, that's the reason. It's chemicals.
Yeah. When I saw that part of the film, I thought, boy, if I lived in that area, I don't know if I would drink my well water anymore, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's a little frightening.
Yep. They actually, the MPCA actually gave those people charcoal systems.
Oh, nice.
Once that was discovered. Yep.
That's good. So, you know, this problem, this issue was, it came to light in Minnesota, but forgive me if I'm wrong, but they had found deformed frogs around the country as well at that time too, right? After this?
Yep, that's correct. And Canada and other countries too, actually.
So do you think, I mean, has anyone drawn any connections to, like, are there similarities to those areas? I mean, nothing.
Not that I know of, yeah.
Well, it's an interesting subject for sure, you know, and, you know, I think it's kind of neat that there's no ending because it leaves it open-ended, you know, what is going on here, you know. It also was a little worrisome.
Yeah. Well, when I started it, I just thought that there was an ending, you know, because nobody was reporting on it. And, then I heard that story on NPR, and I read the book, and I was like, oh, wow, how about that?
Right. So if some research comes out and they figure out what's going on with the frogs, will you kind of continue the project and maybe make a second film or extend this one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be great if something like that would happen.
Well,
then I'd have an ending.
Right, right. Well, let's hope it does. So what's next for you? Do you have, I know you have Off 90 going on. Do you have any other film projects in the works, something outside of Off 90 that you might be able to tell us about? Or?
Well, no, I guess not. The station takes up a lot of time, so.
Yeah, I know how that is. Yeah, well, how about Off 90? Is there anything exciting that we can look forward to on that?
Well, I think there's another story that I did about Minnesota during the Cold War that I think I'll try to enter in film festivals too.
Okay, nice.
Which I thought was pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story. So.
Mm-hmm. Have you been in the Frozen River Film Festival before, or is this your first year?
First year that something of mine has been shown, but I've gone several times.
Okay, cool. So we might see some more works from you in the future festivals?
I hope so.
All right, sounds good. So you can check out Matthew Bluhm's film Mystery in the Wetlands, and you can also check out his stuff at ksmq.org. He produces a show called Off 90. And thank you so much for joining us today, Matthew. We really appreciate it, and I loved your film.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks again to Matthew Bluhm for joining us on this episode of Artbeat. To stream today's episode or any other episode of Artbeat, visit KQAL.org and select the Media tab. I'm Willard Hike. Thanks for listening.
Artbeat is written and produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us on the web at kqal.org.
Is art an important part of your life? Tune into Artbeat Tuesdays at 12:30 right here on 89.5 KQAL. Artbeat is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.